people are finally starting to talk about the Islamic problem that we are facing today in Britain. People are talking about it a lot more openly and a lot more honestly, especially on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X. This comes from Charlie Victor, a very outspoken person, a very strong person in his beliefs, in his stance. He will not falter to anyone. A lot of people might have seen him, especially from his video that went viral a couple of weeks ago, from his security guard actually kicking someone and dropping them to the floor. Yeah. So yeah, he was on Liam Tuff's YouTube channel. He's doing a lot of good work. Is Liam Tuff at the minute. Go check him out down in the description below. I'll leave a link to this video and the full thing. But I just want to show you a clip from this little segment on about Charlie talking about the way this country is going, in what direction it's heading, and what he thinks is going to happen in the future. So let's take a little look.
Barandai going to innocent, small Christian people and doing a mass stabbing attack. If you ask anyone on the street, what would you associate a car ramming attack with, or a mass stabbing attack with? What religion? They're like, oh, Islam, clearly. So he might not have been a Muslim, but I would say it was very much inspired by it. But they're on the back foot now, Muslims, because since Southport, no one is scared of being called racist anymore. No one is scared of being called Islamophobic anymore, because we're now at the brink. We are at the precipice. We have... Maybe we've passed the precipice, Liam. Maybe it's too late to save this country politically. And now we realize that we're one spark away. Unfortunately, the Islamists can't help themselves. We're one beheading away from this country going into all-out sectarian civil war. And what I think will happen is some young British soldier like Lee Rigby, or even worse, a little girl will get kidnapped off the street, and the Islamists will put the ISIS banner behind her. They'll get the balaclavas on. She'll be screaming for her mummy. And on Facebook Live or something, they're going to behead a little Christian child on video, blood spilling everywhere as she screams for her mummy. And they're going to, without any
I mean, let's hope to God that that does not happen, what he's talking about there. That is like the worst case scenario as to what could happen. Let's pray to God that that does not happen.
Awareness, they're going to say, you fucking British, innit? This is how they're suffering in Gaza. This is how the Muslims are suffering in XYZ country, where they're mostly doing it to each other. But that isn't outside the realm of possibility.
Well, that one of my questions were, because I've seen the work that you do, and I can see that you're a visionary, and you look at the stats and the history and you piece it all together.
Yeah.
You know, you're a smart guy. So the question was, do you think we're heading for a civil war, and in what time frame?
Before he answers, I 100% believe we are heading to a civil war in this country. It's only a matter of time now. If you look at everything that's happening, everything that's happened in the past, like he just said today, if you piece it all together, you can see that this country is heading down a trajectory to civil war, civil unrest. People are already talking. It's the murmurs of it, and like it is literally a ticking time bomb. All it takes is that fuse. I don't know exactly what it's going to be yet, but there's going to be that one fuse. I'm surprised it didn't happen at Southport last year, but it's just going to take one fuse to light this country into oblivion. And once it's either going to happen over here, or something else will happen, say in like Ireland or Europe, and it will trickle into here, and it'll just spread like wildfire.
If some atrocity happens tomorrow, it could kick off tomorrow, Liam. We've got the extreme hot weather, you know. That is conditions for a civil war, the hot weather. But if some atrocity happens, like for example, if some Islamists do another car ramming against another young British Army guy, a Lee Rigby, and they chop his head off, and then they're like, with the red hands, look at that, it will start tomorrow. But I'll tell you, my darkest worry, like I have friends near Blackburn, and there's like a weird thing in Lancashire. There's a Bolton, Burnley, Blackburn, and Bradford. All the Bs, the kind of 4 Bs of the apocalypse. Burnley, Bolton, Blackburn, and Bradford, they're so dominated by Islamists, unfortunately. And we saw in Blackburn, they voted in an independent Muslim MP called Adnan Hussein, who, again, and nobody knew anything about him, but they voted for him because he is Muslim. And this sectarian stuff happened. So the reason I'm bringing up Blackburn is I did a video saying this is how the civil war may start. And you know how every single day there's between, say, 200 and 800 migrants arriving on the boat. 99% of them are Muslims. What if, like, say, the British Muslim Foundation organizes a big celebration of Islam in Blackburn, and they organize buses to bring in 100,000 men, and they come into Blackburn for a big rally in the park, like a giant Glastonbury, but for Islam. If that 100,000 men in Blackburn, young military-aged men, you can't police that.
You won't stop that.
Not even the army could police that. If they just
No,
decided to spread out in the city, just occupy police stations, government buildings, they'll take hostages as well. They'll take local councillors hostage. They'll take doctors hostage, little girls, little boys hostage in school. And then the Muslim MPs would say, oh no, they're being forced to do this by the right-wing fascists. Oh, the right-wing bigotry, they don't feel welcome enough. So instead of sending in the SAS to rescue those hostages, let's have dialogue. Let's maybe give them, like, devolve some power to the Muslims in Blackburn. Okay, they've got the MPs, but let's maybe make it a caliphate just to get the hostages out. And that's how it's going to work. They don't have the ability to defeat us militarily or through power, but through subterfuge and manipulation and hostage taking. You see the trouble Israel's had with the 251 hostages that Hamas took. And unfortunately, because so many people in the West have asked for dialogue instead of, you know, in my opinion, after October 7th, every Western nation on earth should have just sent in their special forces into Gaza. Yes, it would take big casualties, but we can't, you know, the Delta Force, the SBS, the SAS, the French guys, everyone, they could have got most of those hostages out if we sent them in the first week or so. But because everyone then goes, no, peace, don't fight back. And that's how I think it's going to happen in Britain, is the migrants will, under a ploy of a festival, get bussed into a Muslim majority city centre. They'll just take over it. Roadblocks, burning tires, balaclavas, clubs, machetes. And you can't police 100,000 angry young men.
See, I could actually see that happening pretty much exactly how he described it. You've got to remember that, especially over here, we have not seen anything like that in our lifetime. We have not lived through anything like that, but it happened. You've just got to look through history. It happens all the time. Like, I remember, like, the last time, especially over here properly, like, the Troubles in Ireland, Northern Ireland, Catholics versus Protestants, Southern Ireland versus Northern Ireland. That same sort of stuff happened there. Police were, I mean, the army literally got called in. But the IRA were taking over streets, taking over buildings, stuff like that. So I could quite easily see that happening exactly how he's just described it there. Taking over government buildings, taking over streets, tyres on streets, blocking streets so no one can get in or out, and then demanding what they want. But yeah, I want to know what everyone's thoughts are on this video. Do you think Charlie has got it right? Do you think he's got it right in what he's saying? Like I said, I'll leave a link to this video in particular in the description. Go check it out. He's quite a smart bloke, is Charlie, and Liam Tuffs is doing some great work at the minute. So check out this video and some other videos on his channel. And don't forget to comment down below what you think. I want to know your thoughts on this topic. Don't forget to leave a like. It really supports me out. It helps me out a lot. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with these type of videos, and follow all my other socials. Link down below to all of them in the description.